Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today, it's going to be a very different type of game from what we normally watch. You know, we watch a lot of pro gamers here, and in fact, we are watching a pro gamer, but not the normal type that you would expect. This is a pro gamer from other games. In the bottom right, the absolute legend of WarCraft 3, it's Grubby. Obviously, Grubby was a just fantastic StarCraft 2 pro gamer as well, so he definitely has some familiarity with the StarCraft franchise. But he, you know, nowadays is mostly just like a streamer, pretty much a variety streamer, but still really loves RTS games and things like that. And he decided to play a ladder game of Brood War. So here he is. Now, obviously, I have no idea if he wins or loses. I don't know the quality of gameplay that we're going to see or anything like that either. His opponent here for his first ladder game is from a very well-known clan in the foreign scene, IRK. And he's actually like a high C rank player. So that's pretty high for someone to have to play against in their first game. You know, it goes F through S rank, and C rank is pretty solid. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's on Neo Dark Origin, and Grubby gonna go ahead and scout with this pro, but getting his gas is that gate in the main base. You know, a couple things to mention. You know, obviously Grubby is a great RTS player, but I would be very surprised if he's aware of the meta game or anything like that. So it's probably, his game here will probably be based upon just trying to make units and do good things with them, right? And the thing is, again, he was a successful StarCraft 2 pro gamer. You know, not like a world champion or anything, but definitely a successful, good player. And so he's going to have a good idea of what he needs to do, right? And he was Protoss in StarCraft 2 as well. So right now, looking at Justice's play, you know, just pretty normal stuff. A pretty normal Sim City that we have here as well. You know, making areas to micro zealots and everything. The SCV does check for like a proxy gateway or something like that. A little bit of probe harassment, but he's going to have to get out because there is a Marine out. And it looks like the factory is going to be at pretty good timing here as well. You know, a reasonably fast factory. Everything going pretty well for Justice. Grubby gets his cybernetics core. Hasn't really made anything too much. They are lined up as far as workers go, so I wouldn't really give the advantage to anyone at this point in the game. One thing to mention, you know, obviously, you know, this Terran player plays Brood War a lot, you know, being a C rank player. And you can see it's like very, very fast. In fact, 360 something. That's a lot of spam, obviously. But you know, it's some pretty high speed. Whereas Grubby is sitting here at like 150. The thing is, I don't think that matters that much at this type of level. But you know, if you're Grubby in this game and you look at it afterwards, you're like, he's over twice as quick as me. Like, why is this my first game? I could see that. I could definitely see that being the case. Now, command center goes down at that natural base. Probably start a bunker as well. Yeah, bunker on the way. Grubby is getting the range upgrade and going into a one base robo. Okay. Now, one base robo could go multiple ways. I think if you go one base robo, you definitely want to go Reaver quickly, but I could see Grubby just saying, you know, I'm not super on top of the meta game or anything like that. Maybe because of that, he wants to get a quick observer out and just kind of see what's going on because he doesn't necessarily know what to expect, right? That's an important aspect to think of. When you know the meta game, like what people are generally doing that trends to be strong, you don't necessarily need to scout quite as much because you have a pretty good idea of what they're doing. And obviously, if you play a lot, then you get a much better idea of like, oh, this is just in general what people are doing right now, right? So it could be something like a quick observer. Looks like he sent his probe over maybe to take this additional base. that Scout Vulture. He did micro pretty well against that and put a lot of damage on it. If you can catch that, that's going to be fantastic for him. You don't want that Vulture knowing that what your tech is going to be here, like if he is going to take that very fast third or not. Pushes that Vulture away, so that's pretty good. In the meantime, mines look like they will finish up. So yeah, it does have those. That mine upgrade can lay a few of those down and feel a lot safer. Engineering Bay is up and ready, making his armory as well. So getting ready for, I wouldn't say upgrade Terran necessarily, but definitely get some upgrades going. Well, I mean, it actually could be upgrade Terran. I just got done talking about how the metagame is not necessarily being followed here. And actually, Grubby kills that mine, so that's kind of nice. Ooh, does eat a mine hit. And I mean, between the bunker and the tank, you are going to want to just run away from that anyways. Grubby's starting to send some workers down. They are actually equal in workers still, so still can't really give an advantage to either side. Reaver coming out for Grubby, and he is getting shuttle speed. So, well, I mean, that's pretty close to on meta right there, right? Going for Reavers as well as shuttle speed. Definitely, these are the most valuable early game tools for Protoss, as well as Dragoon range. So he's just kind of getting all of that right now. Keeping up some of that probe production as well, getting the observatory. I would like to see maybe, well, you know what, he can pick up one of the Dragoons with it. Some people do like Dragoon with Reaver in the shuttle, and there are situations for that, although, of course, a couple Zealots would be nice. Another gateway coming up here for Grubby, who's continuing to produce those probes. Dragoons just kind of sitting outside the base, and you can see right now, it seems like Justice is just kind of macroing up, getting some upgrades, but hasn't really added production. He's really focused on defense, right? We got a few missile turrets out. He's got the bunker. He's sieged up. He's got some mines laid. Like, that's a pretty well-placed mine. If your opponent's trying to, like, harass a little bit with a Reaver there, so that could end up catching him. But yeah, there's no real potential for any sort of attack coming out of Justice here. Now, Grubby moves up with the shuttle, and, ooh, the turret a little bit out of range there. Gonna go ahead and get, ooh, a big Scarab hit. 6 kills already here for Grubby. Already a very successful Reaver drop. Like, he could fly out and we'd be happy with this. So Grubby does take the first thing that I would definitely call an advantage in this game. You can see they've been tied up in workers the whole time. Now Grubby is up by those 6 that he killed. So that is very, very nice. Little adjustment to the siege tank positioning, right? Instead of having it towards the front for a frontal push defense, he moves it back over so that it can defend this general area. Grubby right now sneaks an expansion. Okay. And he just got actually another decent Scarab off, it looks like. I definitely saw an explosion there, but missed that. Exactly what it was. That's interesting, because he's had this probe here, so I thought that he would end up taking a Nexus, but this might have just ended up being a misclick that he had. Now, that being said, looks like it might be time to add a few more gateways. Looks like he's getting a defensive photon cannon, getting +1 attack right now. Transferring a few probes down. Maybe feeling like that that saturation. Oh, almost loses his shuttle there. Just barely going to get out. But yeah, a couple gates being made in this top right corner. Photon cannon as well. And going to send these probes over again to saturate that top right base somewhat. So definitely the economy of Grubby going to start running away from where Justice is at. But it looks like Justice is going to go up to 5 factories. His +1 attack about to finish. So that's a very nice, very early +1 attack. Might want to start that +1 armor as well. But now, like, Grubby on 3 bases. He's done some reasonable harassment with his Reaver. And hopefully what we're going to see is just trying to get production down, right? So he's got the 2 gates here, 2 gates here, and looks like he is adding some more gateways and a little bit more tech as well. So very good stuff to see. Looks like we did lose that Reaver, unfortunately. Sorry, I don't have the rhythm for when he's wanting to go in with the Reavers. A couple of High Templars being made. Love the High Templars at the fringe base as kind of like a defensive measure. Anything trying to push up that ramp, you can hit some Psy Storms on. Psy Storm has been started as well. That speed shuttle coming all the way back home. Maybe pick up some new units over here. And Grubby actually has a pretty reasonable supply lead. It will be interesting to see how he engages in a larger fight. Because that's the one thing, right? Like, obviously, like, you know, just having the mechanics of jumping back and forth, making probes and stuff, he's doing that reasonably well. You know, he's got 53 workers is pretty solid on 3 bases. It's not exactly like basically by the time you get 3 bases, you are looking towards getting like 65-ish workers. But 54 is going to be good. The thing is, can he actually control his army against this incoming push from Justice? Because this is something that obviously anyone that plays Brood War all the time gets very good at controlling their army in their fights. It's like one of the main things that you're going to have a lot of practice with. Now, Grubby has always been a very strong micro-based player. His army is a little bit small here in comparison to the Terran army, so I am a little bit nervous for him. He's sending a few more probes up here to the top right. You know, he has these units that if this area gets attacked, these are going to be really useful. But if we have an engagement in the center, he really needs those Psy Storms. Like, those 2 Psy Storms and those 2 Goons can completely change what a battle against this army will look like. So right now, Justice coming down, Grubby getting ready, picks up Zealots into this shuttle. The shuttle is very low health, and there are a lot of Goliaths here, so he's got to be careful about that. Okay, he gets dragged up a little bit with those Dragoons, starts to attack in, gonna try to bomb out, but unfortunately here for Grubby, that is a huge Terran army that he's fighting against. So it doesn't look like that's gonna go very well. Loses basically his whole army. He has the double forge going. Like, there's definitely some nice things going on for Grubby. He's getting good upgrades. He's got, you know, a lot of Psy Storm that's going to be here. Looks like he's making an Archon. He realizes his army is a little bit small to be able to fight against this. Justice going to push across these bridges. Yeah, nice Psy Storm goes down. But I don't think that's going to be enough. Like, even if you hit, you need like 3 more good Psy Storms here. Let's see if he can actually get some of those. Okay, a decent Psy Storm there, but his actual army count a little bit low. Hits those storms, and Justice just going to continue to push up. And not looking very good for Grubby. He does bring these units down to stop reinforcements, but he actually needs to break this push. If he loses this Nexus, that's going to be just too much damage coming in. The Dragoons coming up with these Zealots. Gonna get on top of some of those siege tanks. Having a hard time actually picking them off, even though they're getting very, very red. Okay, finally does get a few of them. Rallying directly out of these gates. But it looks like Justice is going to be able to just kind of roll through at this point. Loses SCV there. Gets cancels out those upgrades on the forges. He still has this base, so there might be play if he can wipe this out still. He's making a scout. Oh, boy. Don't know about that scout, but we'll see, I guess, if it makes any difference. There is a missile turret to kind of base defense around a scout. Absolutely is not going to be able to break a missile turret. Looks like this Nexus very likely to go down. And Justice does actually scout this other base, realizing, oh, my opponent hasn't said GG. There must be something else there. Checking those corners. All right, the scout is operational. Let's see what this scout can do. Uh-oh. All right, scout going to fly away. He's going to go ahead, back up his ramp. Coming from behind with the scout now, so that's good at least. Going to be able to... Oh, you should be able to pick off actually multiple tanks here. Should get this one, and actually if you sit the scout here, you can get this one as well. A little bit of a push over here on Grubby's other base. Third base coming up here for launch, adding those additional factories as well. All right, I think this might be Grubby's last stand. He needs to get out to help this base, because, again, if he loses that Nexus, this game is probably just going to be over. has actually gotten a reasonably sized army. Those mines going to be a big problem, though. Probably needed a few more zealots to lead the charge through there so his dragoons could actually connect. Unfortunately, not really working out that well for him. Now, that being said, the turret is now starting to burn down, so the scout can end up working through here. Now, unfortunately, yeah, some vultures get into position. GG is called, and I gotta say, that is a tough first game of Brood War, right? He is not a Brood War player, and to get matched up against a C-rank player in your first game, honestly, not that bad a play from Grubby. Like, there's some good stuff. His Reaver harassment was solid and everything, but he's playing someone that clearly plays a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good effort there from Grubby. Hope to see more games from him in the future. GG's. Thanks for watching.